Okay, yeah. So I got everything from well, I'm assuming everything. I got level 1, level 2, production level uh from Century, and I coordinated all of those. I sent the coordination stuff to, I sent all the clashes to Spencer. Um, I the main issues, I sent some follow up emails on the sprinkler, both the sprinkler heads in the ceiling and the sprinkler lines that are in between the millwork and the catwalk. So I sent those
10-4.
out. I Those were the most concerning things because there were some locations where the ceiling had coordinated holes for the sprinkler heads, and then there was a more majority of them where there was not. There are some issues, some spots where they did not match, where the holes didn't match up with what Century had provided, but that's just them moving it kind of thing. Um, let's see. I got Unistrut. I just saw that I got it at 8 p.m. last night, but I went and I ran clashes with it this morning, and there was one or two issues with it, and I sent those off to Andrew Deacon with Unistrut. So
Yeah,
hopefully he'll. Yeah, go ahead.
Michael, can you please can you just CC me on those emails with Andrew? Just because there are sub officially, I just want to make sure I'm in
Yeah,
the loop on that stuff.
I thought that did. You get those? I sent them to someone. I think it may have been Matt because
Yeah, just
he's the one that's on glue. But I'll definitely, I'll just, I'll for sure do that because it went through glue. But I'll copy you on that once we're done here. Okay.
yeah, I appreciate it.
Hey,
Thank
I
you.
guess, were you able to, Joe, were you able to get your stuff over to him?
No, I haven't got it in yet.
Okay.
When are you
But
thinking
as
you'll
soon
have
as I
that
get it,
ready?
I'll call and pester him again this morning since he was supposed to have gotten it as quick as he could, and I was hoping it'd be yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
I also have to
Yeah, we
keep
need.
working on them
So
every day.
so I got
All
That's
right.
the balcony.
okay. So in addition to that, I got like a points file from Hunter yesterday at 4 o'clock. And then I went and I did I ran points or we ran points on the crying room wall. Okay, and so that kind of leads me into the first thing that we're going to talk about today. Okay, so the best way that I could look at this was by looking at it in AutoCAD. Okay, so if we look right here, red is going to be the architectural model from Revit. It's the wall. Okay. Um, teal is Keller's model that I took, the DWG model that I took from Glue, and then the pink right here, the pink little squares are the layout points. Okay, they're on. I think they're 1 foot on center, but we had talked about 6, but 1 foot is on center is good enough here. It illustrates the point perfectly. Okay, so as I said in my email last night, as I was looking at this, I've looked at it in CAD, I've looked at it in Navisworks, I've looked at it in Glue, I've looked at it in Revit, and every time the same thing happens. Okay, it's you got like Keller lines up to a T right here at the north end of this wall before it curves. It's
Like point two
perfect.
five zero. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost perfect. Okay, and then once we reach the center of this curve, we're off by about 3/4 of an inch right here. Okay, and then once we even over here we're off by probably like 1/4 of an inch. So that leads me to believe that one, it is either a annotation error on the drawings that's giving you a bad radius, or it was entered wrong. And talking to you guys, I really doubt that it was entered wrong, because you guys, that would surprise me. So, but it's got to be one of those two things, because you can see right here the points line up, and it just, as soon as we hit the center of this wall, like we're off by almost an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So I sent you that file, and I wanted to see if you guys could, just to confirm that it's not a modeling or like some kind of viewing error. I want to see what my you can open any of either like the two, I would suggest opening the 2D APL file, but either one of those would work. If you could put that into yours, and then we could take a look at that and just, I guess, put to bed the whole issue of whether or not it's possible that going from 3D from Rhino to DWG could cause some kind of viewing error, but I
Right.
really don't think
Now,
that's possible.
so my I have to apologize because it's the day before Christmas. We're very light on
Yeah.
staff, and I have no engineers on this call.
Okay.
So I'll do my best to follow here, but just this isn't the best agenda for today.
Yeah.
But I will do my best to follow and chime in as we can.
Okay.
One thing that Matt did bring to my attention, because he had kind of played around with Rhino to Revit a bit too.
Yeah.
And he was wondering if you're exporting if files are being exported as meshes, if you will, right? And so that what the mesh is doing is it's just creating triangular planes and breaking our surfaces down into triangular planes. And the thought is, if you can increase that number of mesh points,
Yeah, the
that
facets. Yes. Yeah. So that was
maybe
yeah.
that will resolve this.
Well, so good point. So that's the same thing that Autodesk came back with me on. Okay, so
Okay.
they showed me how to do it, and so basically what I was doing is my facets were at 1, and they suggested I do it at 4 or 5. Okay, and so because I didn't want it 1 to 5 didn't sound like enough, so I set it to 40. Okay, and
Wow.
so.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't there was no way in hell that I was screwing the pooch here. So I put it at 40, and so like this is what I got.
So that's the 40. So something's still not jiving. All right.
Yes.
Because obviously we're giving you, to the best of our ability, curved
Yeah.
geometry. Right?
Yeah.
And there's a breakdown somewhere between us and to you.
Yes. And to me it's I really believe that it's some kind of rounding error with a radius. That's what I believe.
Okay. Now. Okay. We'll I mean, we're closed all next week, right? But after the new year, we will jump on this and kind of follow through what you laid out for us.
Okay. So yeah, and I hope. Okay, that's good. I hope that it's just really like a viewing error. I don't think that's the case though.
Because it's like you just increased, as we all talked about last week or the week before. I mean, you increased your resolution 40-fold, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And we're still getting seriously faceted curves, which we know we shouldn't be seeing at this point. All right.
Yeah. So So I mean, you can see when I'm in Navisworks, like it's still like right here at the center of this wall, like the teal is you guys, the points are right there. You can still see like it's a I don't know, like right when you approach the center of the wall, there's something like I really feel like there's a rounding error with the radius. Like that's the most reasonable explanation that I can come up with.
So if you can indulge me, Michael, the first and second reflectors that we got to you, right? Those models we put out are those are LED 400, right? We've drawn and detailed everything that could possibly be in that assembly. And those, how does the resolution look on those?
Okay, so the like you're saying the reflectors on.
Yeah, because maybe there's something that we're doing with those that we're not doing with just the simple surfaces. Because right now the walls and the other ceiling parts we have, those are really simple surfaces because that's all the information we have.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay, and so you're talking about the ceiling, the cloud ceiling, right?
Yeah, directly below the Unistrut models you got, I assume.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me look at that. I've been looking at those a lot this week. Okay, so good. Let me bring up my viewpoint here. So those are like incredibly detailed. We'll jump right to this one right here. So you've got for some locations you've got the actual the sprinkler head
Jeez,
location in there.
that's
Um,
great.
yeah, yeah.
Wow,
So
that looks awesome.
yeah, so I mean, they fit in there. There was the locations where, they were off slightly. I noted them for them, so they know to, move it north. And I say, I put make sure, confirm that you're using flex pipe. But I know that we discussed that last week.
Hmm.
Um, so we've
And
got. Go ahead.
and real quick too. Just this is partly for Hogan. Their sprinklers are coming down plumb, if you will, like perfectly vertical.
Hmm.
Our holes that are cut in are not they're normal to our surface. So the holes that we're cutting in are not like plumb, directly with gravity cut down like the sprinklers are shown. Um, if it's really not a problem for us to do it one way or the other. But those are the kind of questions that we need answered as well, because if those sprinklers if they're what's the word, if they're recessed or hidden, right, and they pop out, right? But if
Yeah,
those are, and they're supposed to sit flush to the face, then obviously they can't be coming out plumb, right? They have to be
they have to be up
uh,
further.
well, no, they have to be set to our surface, which isn't flat, right? It's not a
Yeah.
level surface; it's a curved
Has
surface.
Sentry joined the call? I assume
No,
not.
no,
Okay.
he has not.
Yeah, I'll get that note over to them. And see. I think that with using flex heads though, I would assume that doesn't that that shouldn't matter, but
Yeah.
we'll confirm that.
Yeah, and we have some pretty serious details in our submittal, Hunter. So if you just want to clip it out of our submittal and send it to them, it's pretty well detailed what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, because the way that the flex head works really is it's the branch line basically, which is the hard pipe branch line stops 2 feet away within 2 feet, 2 feet plus or minus away from the hole. So that leads me to believe I've actually never seen a flex head, so that would lead me to believe though that there's enough play in there that
Sure.
And I think that
yeah
I really
they would
believe
be
that
able to.
what's going to happen is it's basically right here. If we're looking at it,
Yep.
it's gonna, this is gonna be the flex head, from there down. So
Yep.
they're gonna be able to do whatever the heck they want to do. Is that
Yeah,
Spencer?
on a flex head, what that
Exactly.
is,
Go
it's
ahead.
like a wire mesh over corrugated pipe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of reinforced, but yeah, it's pretty movable.
Okay.
A lot of those companies have started going to those so that they can move them to where they need to and don't have to be as
Yeah.
precise in the beginning.
So
They
I
never
mean,
work out in the field.
yeah. So I mean, I feel pretty good about this. I felt there was a couple of instances where I think they're like on one of these cloud ceilings where his sprinkler head was hitting your hangers. So I noted those for him as well to move them. They were on either end of one of these cloud ceilings. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I noted that, sent it to him. So I mean, this was fantastic. Like that's why I was asking the questions about the locations of the holes, was because we've got this one right here. You can see the holes are coordinated in them. And I was like but then the catwalk, and then both edges of your millwork, like it, though they didn't have them coordinated. So I was curious as to because you guys had these set up before. Like did Century send you guys something so that you had the
I
locations
think
before?
I think we took it off of an ASI drawing, or
Okay.
I don't recall exactly where we got the drawing, but it was a formal drawing that was either fed to us by Hogan or by the architect.
Okay.
I think it was their original submittal that it was their original
Okay.
design that they submitted to the city.
Perfect.
Okay. So because like that was I was like, okay, these are all perfectly lining up, and then I got like, when I ran the ceiling or the cloud ceiling against it, it was just a ton. It was like, or there was hardly any clashes. But then when I ran it against, the rest of your millwork, it it was like 5-10 times as many. So part of it was because like their
Yeah,
sprinkler head below is
we haven't
is
given you holes yet. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's just that simple. We haven't, the first and second reflectors are the only ones we've been able to put into fabrication engineering yet.
Okay.
Well, that's not entirely finished fabrication engineering on.
So
and so
Hey,
we're working to get the rest done.
guys, I gotta go ahead and jump off.
I'm recording
Let
it
me
from
know if
here on out.
anything.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's been
perfect.
recording
Thank you.
since we started. So
Very good.
and I'll take notes and I'll send them to you too as well. Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey guys.
All right, guys. Have a good Christmas, everyone.
Yep.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry
Hey,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hey
Okay.
guys, this is Mark Petrucci. Quick comment. I was just looking up the flexible head for the sprinkler system. I would think that you'd want to flush mount the sprinkler heads with the panels. The only thing I don't know is when the sprinkler pops out, if it has to be plumb. And I don't know. Century would have to answer that question. So I
Yeah, it
still
does.
think, yeah. I mean, if it's so, I don't know how that affects what Keller has to do with putting their holes in. So just a comment I wanted to add.
Right.
And I have a quick question. All those hangers that we were looking at above those ceilings,
Yes.
how important are they where they need to be? I mean, have we looked at those versus ductwork? Because there's some pretty large ductwork above those.
They
Hangers, the Unistrut.
Yeah, I looked at those this morning and I found there's an instance where it's in a different model, but yes, like your large ductwork basically right here, it's getting whacked. So I need to talk with him about that so that he can move this stuff around. But he's going through both the electrical. There's a whole lot of conduit underneath your duct. He's hitting that, and he's hitting that large, this duct that's coming up right here. I'll show you guys that shortly once we finish. Once we finish going over the sprinkler head. Okay, we'll jump into that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. Last thing about the sprinklers and the millwork. Okay. So thing that I'm really most concerned about with the sprinkler heads is basically they're under here in between the your millwork panel and your and the bottom of the catwalk
Oh, there's
support
sprinklers in
steel.
here. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah, so so that like this kind of threw me for a loop. I was really quite I was surprised by this when I ran the clash. I was like, oh god, no, oh no, But so the heads are
Well,
not the issue really. But this I don't see how this pipe's gonna run because you guys are you're curving in the X and the Y, but you're also curving in the Z here. So like there's no way I'm pretty concerned about
Well,
this.
and from an installation standpoint, right? The sprinkler head would have to be installed and perfect,
Right.
and then our panels would have to slip around those exactly, right? And then once our panels are in place, you're never able to get back in there and like make any adjustments to the head of the sprinkler or to the pipe.
Yeah.
Because the floor of the catwalk is not removable, right? It's
No, it's
Yeah.
welded down. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's already it's in, right? It's welded down.
So so I have absolutely no idea how.
No answer.
Yeah, like this when I saw this, it scared the hell out of me. Because like like I was just like, man, like this is the last thing that we need right now is this right here. I mean, this was something that we should have that I wish I would have had in September or August or something. You know what I mean? Like this is
Right.
a holy crap kind of thing. So, when I saw this, like, yeah, I'm just kind of blown away right now. I'm absolutely this is freaking me out right now. Um, as
Because
it
of the
sounds like it is with
is,
Keller.
no, Michael, is it the clash that's got you concerned? The clash with the millwork, because we can pocket out the back of that millwork. I'm not too worried about the pipe that's running along the direction.
Yeah.
I actually think pocketing it out isn't going to be a major issue.
Okay.
Just from a job perspective and Hogan's, I'm just thinking, wow, how do you get that in there and make sure it's make sure it's coordinated so my millwork just slips right over it.
Yeah, it's the constructability concern. I mean, it was both really, because the whole deal was, when we signed off last week was they're adhering to us, and then
Right.
this is one of those instances where that's just not possible. This is one of those unforeseen circumstances where sprinkler kind of drives how you guys are going to model your stuff, and I didn't anticipate that being the case. So yeah, if it's notchable still, that's a big load, but I off of my chest. But I did not expect
Yeah.
either to see, like the constructability of it really concerns me, because like I said, it's the Z coordinate that you're curving with right here. That's the problem. I mean, like, it's gonna have to be, every time that every time that there's a grommet, or there's a connection, it's deeper. I think it was like 3/8 of an inch into the bottom of your.
Into the back of the millwork.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I would say the only path forward, because even if that sprinkler was pushed tight up to the underside of the steel angles there in yellow, there'd probably still be a little bit of pocketing.
Yep.
I think the pocket is probably the only way forward to get around the sprinkler. It's not ideal for us, just because when we're making that billet, it means that we have to machine it twice.
Uh-huh.
We have to machine the face and machine the back. So let's just kind of keep I would ask that you kind of push Century, I think is the sub, to see if they can push it literally tight up to those angles, and see if that helps even a little bit.
Right now he's tied up against the bigger angles. I'm assuming that it's where each panel of the catwalk, so that's why he's not hitting these smaller ones, I assume. But still, when when you're curving, the way that he's going to have to build it is, it's going to have to be a much more heavily segmented branch, but then when he does that cuts more into your panel. It's just like this is not
chicken before the egg. It's the whole job.
So this bummed me out big time when I saw it, because I was like, God, I mean, like, we needed this ages ago. But I sent the stuff to him, and I sent the actual the layout that he currently has. It's not, he's consistent with elevation. So I mean, he's into your panel consistently. So the location of it is, I sent the PDF of it showing, and I marked the ones up that were the three that were going through this, but so that was that's pretty much it. But okay, so well, I mean, is there anything? Do I need to get you his DWG of this file, or this floor? Do you want me to send that to you, or point you to it, so that you guys can take a look at this next week or the week after?
Well, yeah, it would be. We're going to start picking into the millwork that's hanging below the catwalks.
Yeah.
And the third reflector, that first week of January.
Okay. So these guys, right?
Yeah. So if they can give us, if they have a final layout, and it's like at this point, it's make sure we're notching around some panels. We'll take a look at it. Hopefully, it's not
With
this crazy. Yeah, hopefully it's not too crazy, and it's something that we can manage. If it gets to be too much, we'll speak up and we'll engage everyone.
Okay, with the cloud, with the cloud ceilings, there's only there's like 2 or 3 locations where you guys were clashing, and they were all because he didn't hit either because he didn't go through the hole, like he was like way out here and like on one side of the panel,
Yeah.
or there was like it's like a riser was hitting it, so I had him, I'm having him reroute those.
Right.
So your cloud
Yeah,
ceilings are good. You
Yeah,
don't have to
exactly.
do anything
Yeah,
with those.
he on the clouds. He's got to make it happen.
Yeah.
He or she has to make it happen. Yep.
Yeah, and he is like
I'm
he's
looking
not
at
hitting
the
you.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Unistrut here, and I can tell you right now, Andrew has to do some. He's got to resolve a couple of these details because this isn't totally accurate. So I think it's like a work in progress that we're looking at.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing some clashes with the steel grid and.
Right up here, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just not communicating perfectly yet.
This is Andy from Unistrut. Just
Hey,
getting on.
Andrew.
How you doing? And that's just representing the thing from the first, the first reflector, and very early stuff. What I could get done.
I see.
Our stuff.
Yeah.
Our stuff is the
green right now.
Yeah, but it's really only the Unistrut that's way up at the top, and I dropped a bunch of rods to see how they were lining up with what, because I don't know if somebody else was putting in Unistrut below it.
Yeah, that shouldn't be there, right?
The black.
Right, it should just be the Unistrut at the top layer, and then we're gonna send the cables up to that.
So the cable's straight down from that kind of a thing, which is what I was trying to show with those rods, is to, but I haven't worked all of the uppers out yet as to where they are or not. Do we have a representative of whoever's making this cloud thing?
That's me, Andrew. Andrew, why don't you and I plan to talk after this BIM call, and we can kind of go through some of these details together.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
All right.
Okay, so that leads me into the question that Clay had. Okay, so right here's our main issue. Let me just pull out all the clashes for MEP versus Unistrut right now. Okay, so right now, let me hide YouTube so we can actually see things. Okay, so, Clay, to your point, the Unistrut right now is hitting your humongous, impossibly large ductwork right here. Okay, I noticed those. I notified Andy of these 5 minutes basically before the meeting today, so I don't expect him to really be able to talk on them, but
yeah, I can say something.
Okay,
what are we talking about? Is my Unistrut down into the duct?
No, you're not it's your hangers, and that's consistent. You're hitting both the electrical conduit that's here and the duct work.
What about that electrical conduit? Is it going to be able to do something around the duct? What?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I think a lot of money was taken out for us to only do the uppers. So anything below that, are you contracting with us to come up with solutions to hang below?
No.
Yeah, Andrew, we're getting turned around here. I think there's a conversation you and I need to have. Maybe.
Probably with Dan Francis, since I think he was, the one that was.
Correct. So.
Senior PM on this.
We need to keep that off this call.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll send one. I'll send another. I guess I'll send something out to with the conduit, I'll send something back out to Inglet with that. We'll rework that too. But yeah, basically, Andy, just right here. This is I'll give you the column grid line, okay? Which column grid lines are not terribly helpful with this project, but basically it's just west of F2, okay? So it's basically that steel bay that's right around F2 is where is where we're having issues, okay? And it's pretty much with your hangers. So I would assume that you could tweak that, okay?
Yeah, we'll have to maybe get a second call and get another one of these up there when our PM's in here. Because I think when you're saying hangers, you're referring to the rods.
Rods, yes. Sorry, the rods, yes.
So they're not really our rods. They're not really our hangers. The issue sounds like, how do you end up trapezing around under this, and that's increasing our scope again.
Andrew, again, that's a separate call.
Exactly.
Michael, to answer this for you, we're aware of this clash as of recently. It's essentially what we're going to do is Unistrut's going to have their layer up tight against the grid.
Okay.
It's going to be pushed so it does not conflict with that massive duct there.
Okay.
And we're going to drop down, and then we'll, CW Keller, not Unistrut, will probably find a way to adjust our attachment points to make that work.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, cool. So yeah, so that basically, that was the only real issue that I saw with the Unistrut thus far, was just right there. If you guys are going to have something, I'm going to assume that you're going to have some more stuff right here. You're going to also have an issue at EX9 and E, or 3E. Okay. And
Yep.
you may have something at EX, or let's just say 4 and F. Okay, you'll have an issue right there as well. And then if God forbid, hopefully you're not going to be going down. Are you guys going to have stuff along column line 1?
It's whatever's directly over top supporting
Okay.
the reflectors.
Okay.
Column line 1 is above the 4-stage reflector, Michael.
Yeah.
So yes, there's certainly going to be attachment points there.
Okay.
We don't know what those are yet.
Okay, with the steel at least, like we're Clay has done it so that, has modeled it so that you can see right here. Basically, these little, we'll just call them columns right now, but they're like small pieces of tube steel that go down right here, and it's missing the ductwork. So if you can connect to the steel that is just west or just east of EX7, basically along, you can see the hole. But if you guys can connect to that, then you're not going to have a problem with this north to south ductwork. Okay.
Are you referring to like there should be Unistrut over there as well, or something?
Andrew, that's an additional scope that we're working with you guys on.
Okay.
Right now, we've only been able to release reflectors 1 and 2.
Yes.
Because that's what we have approved shops for.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I'm just coming up to speed.
Okay. Yep. I'll let so I guess that's pretty much it. What else was there something else that we need to discuss? I feel like Kent and Joe had something. But I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Well, I do have something myself. Go ahead.
No,
you
go
do?
with what you got, because you're still on it.
Well, what I was noticing when I was first doing this, and this is assuming there was nothing in the way, and I was using those rods that I drew in there as guides, as gauges down to where the reflectors are. How set in stone are those locations in terms of where it connects to the reflectors?
So
I
Andy,
asked,
that's a question to us. They're very well set, but if there are unavoidable conflicts, we can engage moving
well,
something if that makes attachment
yeah,
easier.
for example, I mean, there's some stuff I was taking to kind of reconcile it to make it a little bit cleaner because, we have basically Unistrut right now, as far as I understand, is just supposed to be spanning across and clamped to existing tube steel that's 8x6,
The grid.
and
Yep.
and some of these rods are so close to each other that it makes sense to me that you line them up so that they're just falling off, coming directly below the same piece of unistrut. Others are too close together that I can't do anything about. I can't put a unistrut in the same support bay less than the thickness, less than the half of the width of the unistrut away from the other. You know what I'm talking about? It'd be like
I don't.
trying to
I don't.
well, our unistrut is 1 5/8 inches wide. And some of these things in that direction, which we'll say is the direction north-south right now, are to hit another one of the rods is not 1 5/8 inches to the right or to the left. It's something less than that, and there's no way that two unistrut can occupy that same area in space, only like a fraction of an inch away from each other.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right to what we intended. So Andrew, I think again it's a separate call. I think we need to have sort of before this meeting we should have had our kickoff kind of BIM coordination before this isn't the right call to review that. But yes, that was not the intent. It sounds like there's something in our translation that's not working.
Okay.
Any other questions for me? In regards to this, unistrut then, or?
Not in terms for right now. I don't have questions for the overall coordination, but if you have time this morning, I'd like to get on a call with you and Dan.
Yeah, I've got another. This is like BIM meeting call number 2. No, yeah, and then I've got another one coming up in a few minutes. But if you want to try and figure another one, then I got another one at noontime, Eastern Standard Time, another drafting meeting, and we're here only until 2 p.m. this afternoon. So,
all right. So we'll try for 11 o'clock, but I'll follow up with you guys by email right now.
Yeah. Okay. If you don't mind, then I'm going to pop off.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, Joe. Floor is yours, Joe and Kent. Where do you want me to go?
Okay. Okay, so on the catwalk at the front, or the east end,
Okay.
if you look at the structural drawings, that would be your detail or elevate, plan 2 on S114.
Okay, so let me go to Procore. What was that number again?
S114.
Okay. I'll try to bring it up on my end as well.
All right, I might just be able to describe it to you.
I'm almost there. Drawings. Man, I really like how they do their drawing sets. Okay, so all discipline is structural.
Or maybe we should have just looked at it on your model, on the BIM model.
Well, it's coming. I got
just
you.
okay.
Oh,
there you go. All right, so when you look over to the bottom right, down there below down where it says catwalk framing, and see the reference elevation. Keep going, it's over to the right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're almost to it. 34.6. Okay, now go back up here to the plan, and you'll see that we're minus 411 and a
And a
quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that puts us to 29, 6 3/4. And then with the revised set of drawings we got is ASI number 7, plan A402. If you want to go to that,
Yeah, I'll hop on that one.
I'll show you how important it is to cloud things.
S402 or A402?
A402.
Got it.
Okay, zoom in down the bottom left. All right, see where he put a cloud around door 307, but he actually changed the elevation of the platform. See the 22, 9 3/16?
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you take that and add 7 feet to it because he's moved the elevation from 0, 0 at the stage to the, to the back of the auditorium or back of the theater. So you have to add 7 feet to that.
Uh-huh.
So it's 29 foot 9 3/16. Actually, he raised it up, not lowered it down. But it's kind of hard to catch things like that unless you back check his drawings.
Are there
Make
clouds
note
on
of
the
that.
drawings? There's no clouds in the
No.
drawings, Joe? That's awful. Okay.
Yeah, I see it. There's no cloud right there. Clouded the door. But what they did, they went back now that they went back and figured out what the elevation was on the 2 catwalks that are in the right there above the stage.
Yeah.
And when they did that, that's when they put the elevation in to match the existing.
To match what you built.
Well, maybe it's the fact that I can't find a drawing before that actually had an elevation right there. You remember, Kent?
No, I mean I get my elevations mainly
Off
off the
the structural.
I know
Because a lot
I
of
know
it
that
was
I mean, way back when we were dealing with the mezzanine and everything, we were pointing out consistently the structural and the architectural and the as-built conditions did not match each other.
Yeah. But apparently that's what they did. They just went back and figured that out and then put it on the drawings as part of this ASI 7, but didn't cloud it.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I just got to coordinate with our stair people. But as far as what it does with Keller, we're up higher, so it shouldn't be a problem. It should be better for them.
Oh,
we're up higher, so it's easy. I mean, that means you can adjust connections on the hangers.
Yeah, that's right.
Rather than stretching the hangers.
Yeah.
That don't work too well.
Yeah, from our perspective, higher should not be an issue.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit longer cable that goes from our millwork to our unistrut attachment. So I'm not too worried. We just need to know where it is. That's all.
All right. Well, we'll be revising our drawings.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, Joe, since this is a BIM call, I mean, what about the BIM aspect of this? Because if I go through and try to adjust any steel elevations for the BIM, yeah, I mean, it's going to be, it's going to change.
Well, I guess that's a Michael question. Oh, Michael, you don't. When like that ASI number 7 came out, I don't know what you did, but I told Hunter that I wasn't going to change our elevations because that would be a disaster to go and revise everything by 7 feet.
Well, yeah, if it's, I mean, well, just basically you're moving. It's just a datum, right? That's
yeah. It's all, yeah, they're going from 0, 0 at the stage to 0, 0 at the back of the theater.
Yeah, I mean, basically all that I would have to do is just change the offset once we figure that, once I'll just change it probably would change minimally. If you're actually moving things so that it was, the actual elevation was changed, then yeah, I would like to see that. But if it's just a datum thing
Well,
where your offset changes, then I really don't.
that's the part where God, I hope they hadn't changed anything else because I don't see any clouds. But
Yeah.
if you look at a 400,
Hmm. No, yeah, -7 right there.
yeah.
That's what
And then
used
if
to
you
be
go to the
0,
back,
Joe.
yeah,
If that, if you want to, we can do that. But if it's just a datum change, I don't.
oh,
All that it is, all that I'm doing is once I get your file, I'm subtracting whatever your offset is by 7, or adding 7 to it. I guess that's really all that I'm doing. If the steel doesn't change, we've got it in the in
that's
a
in the model, right?
yeah, in the location. But if the steel,
Yeah.
if one piece is moving down 6 inches, yeah, I would like to see that. But if or certain pieces are, but if the whole thing is just shifting down 7 feet, I
Yeah, it's like the relative dimensions are still accurate. It's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, that doesn't concern me.
it just
You
changed the
Yeah.
origin. That's
yeah,
all.
you guys are going to want to do that for your shop drawings so that your guys don't accidentally put it in 7 feet too low or high. But yeah, I don't need to. I don't need to see that.
Yeah, actually, we don't want to change our shop drawings
Yeah, because
for
it means
this.
changing each and everything.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Which
well,
I don't
I
know
mean,
why
this
they
is
decided here in the halfway through that we're all of a sudden going to change the datum point, but
yeah.
there's a lot I don't understand.
I like I mentioned to you, Joe. I mean, we could do that, but I think it presents more of a
Oh,
risk
it's just
of
yeah,
getting
no, let's
something
don't.
wrong because the director's
Yeah,
using our drawings, and
you know, it's my old axiom that let no revision go unpunished. So if you start revising something,
well, back
something that
to
really
the
doesn't
original.
matter, and you miss something, then there we are.
Yeah, but back
Go
to
ahead.
the original part of this where you said that in the field, Chip's wanting you to move.
Yeah, he's wanting us to coordinate to that elevation of the 22. Down there it is, 22, 9 and 3/16, which is really on that A402. ASI number 7 is 22, 9 and 3/16. That's the 7-foot difference. But well, he's at 29, 9 and 3/16, and we're at 29, 6 and 3/4.
So we need to go up.
Yeah. 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 I was talking to Chip and I got confused. I thought he told me they were lowering it.
So it's just that what we're looking at on the screen. It's just that that's the north platform.
Well, it gets a little worse. Michael, go down to the one at the south, and you'll see that but the existing catwalk. I mean the existing catwalk that's to the west of that door is actually a little bit lower. So see, it's 20.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, he's showing it's 22, 9 and 3/16. I guess he didn't know that then, because they were telling me that there was a difference when they shot it in the field. So he didn't account for it. Oh well, never mind about that part. I guess they didn't tell. They didn't tell Brad.
I mean, back to what Michael was saying. So this is 2 platform areas that we will have to adjust in our BIM model.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it, because like obviously all of this is 100% fabricated in the field, right? I mean, you haven't.
Yeah, we got to revise our field. Just have to revise our field drawing, our field use on that S3 or E303.
I mean, is your erector going to make the connections and everything work out? I mean, is he going to just change things to field welded and adjust it up?
Yeah, he hasn't done any of that yet because we just found out about it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what my impact is. If I need,
I'll think about it. We'll talk about it off the meeting.
There's no easy way of doing this in the BIM model. I mean, that's my issue.
Dilemma, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's all that I have for the day, I believe. Anything else that we need to hash out?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Hey,
Chris, you
Yes,
you
sir.
wanted to confirm. Well, oh, sorry. Who was that? Was that Clay?
that was me, Kent.
Okay.
I was just gonna, because I don't know if it was mentioned about the schedule for next week. Are we planning on meeting on Friday or no?
No. Keller's gonna be off, so to me that doesn't make any sense. That's a good point.
That's fine.
So yeah, no meeting next week.
Right, our office is closed.
Okay, and so Chris, like
Yes, sir.
you needed to make sure that that the the clouds were good to go, right?
I need to make sure. No, millwork of the clouds is good to go. That's modeled exactly to our shop drawings.
Yeah.
It was the Unistrut. I have a call with them this morning.
Okay.
I'm gonna push hard, and hopefully we'll get you an accurate. I apologize for the confusion on that. We'll get you something accurate as soon as we can.
Okay. Well, I mean, I remember like there was a hard date for you guys. Like, is there is there anything that I need to do to, do I need to set something out for saying that you're good to release something?
Yeah, we're going to be submitting shop drawings hopefully the second week of January, and then starting installation if God willing the following week. So it's just a tight sequence there.
Okay.
That's just with the Unistrut though. So hopefully, from my perspective, Brad and Robbie just want to see it tight to the grid and black. So hopefully that's all they're reviewing, and they're not gonna start to get too picky.
Yeah, he was tight to the grid. He like all my clashes were 0.00 clashes. So all of it, other than just where it was hitting that the duct and the electrical, everything was perfect. Like
good.
Elevation
All right,
wise.
that's good. That's good. So the elevations are translating well back to Unistrut through us. So okay.
Yep. Yeah. That was all perfect. I mean, like I would say there's 100 clashes, and they were like 90 something of them were like they were 0 clashes. So
right. Meaning tight.
Yes,
tight to
perfect. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, we'll get on that.
Chris.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask Chris a question? Hey, Chris. I'd like to pretend I've done something since last Thursday, but apparently I haven't on the when we were looking at the model out there, and they were saying I needed to change my light bars to match the radius where y'all had the 34 foot or whatever it was, where they were where you slope off on the other side of that bracket.
That's right, at the ends.
Yeah, do you have something telling the degrees of that?
It's such a complicated equation. I don't even think it's essentially I think a parabolic curve, right? If you understand it, the radius is constantly changing across. So I don't even think that parabolic curve has anything to do with my millwork. That's one of those locations where I can't give it to you. I think you have to pull it. I think you have to pull it from the Revit. Unfortunately, it doesn't really have a lot of relationship to our millwork. We've fast tracked.
I thought it was just
No, we fast
thought
tracked component 4, and remember where that like outrigger at the very end
Yeah.
punches through the millwork.
Yeah.
Right, and it doesn't punch through around a millwork box. It just punches right through. So
Yeah.
I believe we've modeled in where that opening is, and that's something that we'll just have to use to coordinate back and forth.
Okay, so we can do that. So pretty much what I really need to do is just go out there and look at the model and see if I can't figure out how much to make it look like it slopes to match the top of your rail.
Yeah, it's just such a complicated thing. I just don't think I can give it to you. You know what I mean? And anything that would make sense, it would just be.
Yeah.
Here's the same 3D model you have.
Yeah, I was going to get with you all week to talk to you about it because when Robbie said it, he made it so simple. I was thinking, oh God, it can't be that simple.
Yeah, no, nothing simple.
All right, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and then we just you have my component for, meaning that the main balcony face. We got those embed locations out to you.
Yeah, that's what he was asking. Connor was asking me when I'm going to have that. I'd given it all over to our guys that are doing all the posts, and they're supposed to be incorporating that.
Yeah, and
trying to have it done by yesterday.
And whenever you need to do a call, Joe, just feel free to reach out. We're here to make sure it all goes smooth for our stuff.
All right, I appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I'm hoping to win the lottery so I can use some of the money to pay y'all to do the stuff that Hogan should have, so that we wouldn't have all these problems. But anyway.
Well, you're going to drill some holes for me, right? That's the agreement. So we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
All right, perfect.
Okay,
nice trade.
Okay, so are we good to go? I think other than that, no meeting next week. If you send me stuff, I'll be working on Thursday and Friday most likely. So if anything gets pushed up, I'll check it so that we'll be ready to go on Monday.
All right.
But definitely email me if you do update anything so that I'll check, so that I know to check it. But other than that, Merry Christmas, guys, and thanks for the hard work this week. And talk to you after New Year's.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.